My daughter is 12. She likes frozen waffles, anime, and arguing with me about bedtime. Last Tuesday, she built something in our garage out of 9-volt batteries, a busted microwave transformer, and what I'm pretty sure was my good salad bowl. It won first place at the Ridgewood Middle School Science Fair. By Thursday, 3 separate galactic civilizations had parked ships in low orbit and were requesting a formal meeting with her. Not the president, not the UN, my 7th grader. I just wanted her to clean her room. Now I'm negotiating parking rights for alien diplomats in my driveway. The science fair was in the gymnasium, right between the basketball hoops. Her project was on a folding table next to a kid who made a volcano out of baking soda and a girl who trained her hamster to run through a maze. My daughter's project was a small metal box with wires sticking out of it and a handwritten sign that said portable fusion reactor, ? She put a question mark because she wasn't totally sure that's what it was. I thought it was cute. The judges thought it was cute too, until she turned it on and it powered the entire gymnasium, the parking lot lights, and half the neighborhood for 11 minutes. The principal called me. He said, "Your daughter won first place." I said, "That's great." He said also she may have solved the global energy crisis and the power company is asking questions. I said, "She's 12, can it wait until after her piano lesson?" So here's the thing about my daughter's project. She didn't set out to change the world. She set out to charge her phone faster. That was the entire motivation. She was tired of waiting 45 minutes for her phone to hit 80%, so she started tinkering. Somewhere between YouTube tutorials and a library book from 1973 that she found in a clearance bin, she figured out a way to create a stable fusion reaction at room temperature using common household materials. The energy output was, and I'm quoting her science teacher here, theoretically impossible. My daughter shrugged when he said that. She said, "Well, it works, so maybe the theory is wrong." Her teacher sat down, then he stood up. Then he sat down again. I recognized that look. It's the same face I make when she explains the plot of her anime shows to me, and I realize I understand none of it. The first aliens showed up on Wednesday. They were from the Vorathi Collective, tall, shimmery, very polite. They landed in the backyard and asked if they could speak with the inventor. I said, "She's doing homework." They waited on the porch for 2 hours. They were very patient. They complimented my garden. Thursday brought the Krellian Federation. They were shorter, rounder, and they brought a gift basket. It had alien fruit in it. My daughter tried one and said it tasted like a grape married a mango, and they were happy together. Friday, the Armory Syndicate showed up. They were the flashy ones. Holographic business cards, a ship that looked like a floating luxury hotel. Their lead negotiator sat at my kitchen table, looked at the plate of cookies I put out, and said, "What are these?" I said, "Snickerdoodles." He ate 4. Then he said, "We will also be bidding on these." The bidding war happened in my living room. I moved the coffee table to make space. The Vorathi offered unlimited clean energy for the entire planet for 500 years. The Krellians countered with a full galactic library, every piece of knowledge from 900 civilizations, plus a cure for the common cold. The Armory Syndicate leaned forward and said, "We will give you your own moon." My daughter was sitting cross-legged on the couch eating a popsicle. She listened to all of it. She asked very good questions. She asked the Vorathi what happened to planets that became energy-dependent on outside sources. She asked the Krellians if knowledge without context could be dangerous. She asked the Armory what the property taxes were like on a moon. The alien negotiators looked at each other. One of them whispered, "This child is a better negotiator than most galactic senators." I just sat there. Proud doesn't even begin to cover it. She thought about it overnight. I didn't push her. I didn't tell her what to do. She's 12, but she's the smartest person I've ever met, and I include myself in that, which is humbling because I once got lost in an IKEA for 3 hours. The next morning she came downstairs, still in her pajamas, and she said, "I'm not selling it. I'm sharing it." She wanted to publish the plans openly, free, for everyone, every planet, every civilization, every species. The Vorathi ambassador actually got emotional. He said, "In 10,000 years of space travel, no species has ever done this." My daughter said, "Well, that's kind of sad, isn't it?" The Krellians offered to help distribute the plans across the galaxy. The Armory said they'd fund the infrastructure. Nobody bought anything. Everyone got everything. My daughter went back upstairs to finish her math homework. She said, "Fractions are still harder than fusion." That was 2 weeks ago. The world has changed a little. Clean energy is rolling out. The aliens stuck around, turns out they love it here. The Vorathi ambassador jogs in our neighborhood every morning. The Krellians started a book club with the lady next door. The Armory discovered pizza and haven't been the same since. But in my house, things are the same. My daughter still argues about bedtime. She still leaves her shoes in the hallway. She still hogs the bathroom for an unreasonable amount of time. And every night after dinner, she goes back to the garage and tinkers. Last night I brought her a cup of hot chocolate and asked what she was working on. She looked up at me with solder marks on her fingers and said, "I think I can make plants grow on any surface. Like any surface, even in space." I set the hot chocolate down. I kissed the top of her head. I said, "Just don't use my good mixing bowl this time." She grinned. She's going to use the mixing bowl.